title of the event was Superhuman versus Simply Human. What sort of leaders do we want? I would really hope people would go away sort of feeling like all the solutions and answers do not have to be with one person.
The event is about asking what we want from our leaders. So today has been about three key elements. Firstly, to consider how do we relate with our vulnerability when we are working in a vulnerable system. Secondly, when we are leading, can we go a bit beyond leadership, which is really working alongside others so that we are creating team of leaders. And thirdly, for us to think about place of co-production and how we can be more innovative, more creative in embracing vulnerability in us and in others as well. Key message today is that it's important for us to connect.
Thank you for inviting me to speak at the DCP Faculty of Leadership and Management, and I'd just like to start off by saying my apologies for not being able to be there in person today. So I've been asked to speak about what I think makes a good leader. I think a lot of that I think it's individual, and leaders bring their own experience and baggage with them. Certainly for me, it's important that a leader looks at growing an organisation and the people within the organisation. So that often means taking a long-term strategic focus. I also think it's important for leaders to demonstrate the behaviour that they expect from others within the organisation. So it's actually kind of delivering by doing. I also think it's important for leaders to deliver. Another aspect of good leadership, I think, is around challenging the status quo, often saying, why aren't we doing this rather than how are we doing this, and taking risky decisions and having the courage of your convictions.
Been talking about leadership and vulnerability. Talked about how vulnerability is linked to self-compassion and validation. Yeah, that was the basics of the talk really anyway. So I hope people learnt about co-production. I hope they learned about making yourself vulnerable, and I talked specifically about the feeling of shame and how that made me feel really vulnerable about coming to speak here, and I felt shame because I thought I was going to mess up and forget what to say, but actually it felt quite powerful.
The talk today was particularly about a newly qualified psychologist, Natalie, and her journey from being extraordinarily vulnerable into a really significant leading clinical psychologist.
I broke down in 2015, and in 2016 I went to see him as soon as I was feeling well enough, as he symbolised the Division of Clinical Psychology to me. He was the chair at the time. In that meeting he said, "We've let you down," which was a turning point for understanding that although I had stuff that I had to process myself in terms of my pain, but also there was extra layers of pain that were being added on by the system.
Hello, I'm Paul Farmer, I'm Chief Executive of Mind. I'm really sorry I can't be with you to speak at this conference today. My main message is that the leaders that you most want, that anybody wants most, are leaders who learn from the environments that they're in, learn from the people they're working with, learn from the issues that they're having to tackle in order to support the development of the issue or the cause that they're most concerned about. And of course what we're all most concerned about is the improvement in quality of services and the improvement of experiences of people with mental health problems.
The talk was about collective and compassionate leadership and how working with service users closely can promote better quality leadership. I think we can learn a lot from each other and what's happening in different parts of the country, inspire each other, set each other standards and aspirations, and also encourage each other. So I think they're very valuable days like today.